Greetings, KyleUniverse here. How y'all doing? I know I haven't uploaded in a while, but you know, I am still working on stuff. I have a few more Universe games coming down the pipeline. I am working on Origins of KyleUniverse again. I have a few projects going on. Like, sorry I haven't really been uploading recently. But today, what I wanted to do is, I thought I'd do a reaction. You know, it's something just a little bit different. I thought, you know, I haven't really seen, like, the older episodes of Universe games in, like, forever. And I was like, you know, why don't I take, like, the first 2 episodes of Universe games and go back and take a look at them just to see, you know, if anything sparks my mind and just talk about it on camera. You know, I thought it'd be kind of fun, you know, why not? So, let's take a look at the first 2 episodes of Universe games, and we'll watch it together and I'll react. Aw man, with X-Men Apocalypse now in theaters, which I am completely fanboying over, by the way, I thought... Okay, so, let's stop just for a second here. Originally, the first episode of Universe games was not going to be X-Men Mutant Apocalypse, but it was going to be Aladdin for Genesis, which a lot of you will know is the second episode of Universe games. But at the time, X-Men Apocalypse, the movie, was about a week away from releasing in theaters, so I was like, you know what, why don't I just release the Super Nintendo game Mutant Apocalypse to kind of just go along with the release of the movie. And so that's why I then moved it to make it number 1. But interesting thing is, and I don't know if anyone ever noticed this, but at the beginning of the episode, and this holds true for, I think, the first 6 episodes of Universe games. At the beginning of the episode, you can see what the thought process was that I was going to have the box art of whatever game I was going to talk about fly in from the background and then go across the screen. Like, at the beginning of the video, you can still see the box art for Aladdin coming in through the background, but when it goes across the screen, it's Mutant Apocalypse. And I thought, you know what, why don't I just keep it like that and just keep it in every episode until someone notices? No one ever noticed. But by, I think it was the 7th episode of Universe games, I stopped using the swipe like that of the box art and then switched to that KyleUniverse Blue Moon. So, yeah, I don't think anyone ever noticed. At least if they did, they didn't comment on it. So, yeah, that's why Mutant Apocalypse is the very first episode and not Aladdin.
This would be a great time to talk about my favorite X-Men video game, X-Men Mutant Apocalypse.
That still holds true today. It is my favorite X-Men video game.
But it's also a play on words. Meaning, as an actual mutant apocalypse, I guess?
The burger stand will go over there.
So, in this side-scrolling Super Nintendo classic, your mutants of choice are the X-Men Blue Team. Minus Rogue. Oh, and Jubilee. But it's still a great cast of characters, much better than the Gold Team.
Oh, wait just
Look,
a second.
Gene, I love you, but you ain't no Psylocke.
Yeah, I thought I would explain the Gold... Oh, there's Kif. I forgot about that. Okay, if anyone remembers on Futurama, the character Kif, he would always get like that, like, in the early episodes when he was around Amy. And, he would always make that sound, and I always thought I did that a little too well, and I just thought I'd put it in there because, okay, in the 90s, I was a teenager, and I thought Psylocke was hot. I really did, so, you know, there you go. Oh, but back to what I was saying earlier about the X-Men Blue Team, and I thought I'd bring up what the Gold Team was, and yeah, I do remember doing that. If you weren't around back then, they would put the X-Men into 2 different teams, and some characters would be over there, some characters would be over there. And yeah, you only play as the Blue Team in this, and I did think that was weird, that they didn't incorporate Rogue or Jubilee, but, yeah, whatever.
So the story is that mutants are being held on the island of Genosha. And the X-Men are like, we ain't standing for that, and go to set their people free.
This game was so much fun.
But one thing was always a bit weird about it. How to perform each character's special moves. Like, let's say you bought this game today from like a flea market, without the instruction manual. You would have no idea how to pull off these special moves. You can press
Of course, at
A,
that time, I didn't
B,
think that people could
X,
just look it up
Y.
online, which
It
they
won't
could.
happen. This would probably confuse a lot of people, considering other X-Men games perform their special powers just with one button. You want to know how to do it? Down, forward, Y. Who would figure that out?
It's the weirdest thing.
That's basically the Hadouken from Street Fighter. Yeah, you're doing a Street Fighter
I always thought that was
every
weird.
time
That
do
it's
a
like you have to
special
do the
attack.
Hadouken for Cyclops'
I
optic
can't tell
blast.
if that's awesome or very
It's just weird.
What is that
Oh.
object? It appears to be the Ace of Spades.
Boom!
I understood that reference.
Haha! Hashtag, I know what the universe is
I'm pretty
talking
sure
about.
no one used that
Okay, so what
hashtag,
you
but
have
if
to
you
do,
don't know,
because
that's a
this isn't
reference
like
to the
other X-Men
cartoon
games
where
you can only
Sentinels
pick
got
one
destroyed
character
and they
and play
said,
the
"What
whole
is that
game as
object?
that
It's an
person."
Ace of Spades."
Nah, you have to choose everyone to get them through their own stages. And sometimes you stop to pause on whatever Psylocke is doing. Oh, don't act like you never did that. But once you get to the later levels, you can pick whoever you want. And in my opinion, Apocalypse is the easiest to beat with Beast, because of his far hit range. Others may disagree, but I stand by it. So overall, X-Men Mutant Apocalypse is a great beat-em-up for the Super Nintendo library. And it is definitely worth a look-see. Just, don't look too hard.
And then there's Kip coming in at the end. Well, that was cool reliving that. It's like, wow, I haven't seen that in forever. Wow, and that's where it all started. That was the first episode. Wow, that's funny looking back on it now, because like not that much has changed, because it doesn't require that much, editing to make these. It's just kind of clipping it all together. It's just, that's pretty neat. Okay, so let's move on to Aladdin here. All right, so keep an eye out at the beginning when it when you can see the box art coming in from the background. There it is. Yeah.
Aw, man, I get to talk about Aladdin for Genesis? Okay, so this game
Back
is
when I was still
phenomenal,
doing that
and it's
joke,
actually
where
one of
every
my most
time
favorites of
I
all
said
time.
Genesis,
This is the perfect
I'd show the
example
guy
of
from
how
Star
to turn
Trek.
a movie into a video game correctly. And hey, it's got some mad credentials. Did you know that electronic
Here, wait, let's hold
gaming
this for a second. Yeah, and the thing is, I was going to put that guy in there every single time I would say Genesis, and the thing is, I did that for like the first, I don't know, well, for like most of it, but I think somewhere after the Sonic and Knuckles episode, I forgot about it or something, and I just kind of stopped putting it in, and now, yeah, I know that, like, I've had various Sunset Shimmer episodes where she talks about Sega games, and she'll say Genesis, and it's not included, so, yeah, I don't think it's much of a running gag anymore, so it unfortunately ended.
Electronic Gaming Monthly named this 1993 Video Game of the Year.
Yeah, isn't
Out
that
of
surprising?
every video game that came out that year,
That,
they chose a movie tie-in game.
Aladdin
that,
became
like, never happens. And
Video
not only
Game of
that,
the Year.
This is the
A
third
movie game.
highest
That
selling
never
Genesis
happens.
game of all time. What beat it? Sonic the Hedgehog at number 1 and Sonic the Hedgehog 2
And that's
at
a fun
number
little
2.
fact right there.
Dang, that's impressive considering the massive Sega Genesis library. Be happy, Aladdin. Be happy. So one of the first things that you'll probably notice is how good the characters look.
This was one of my
look how
favorite
good the
games back
animation
then.
is on
It's like, I
Aladdin.
loved this
It
game.
looks
I
like
went
they
through it
took
all
him
the
straight out of the
time.
movie and just threw him into the video game. Well, that's because they used a process called Digicel, where they actually got Disney animators to create the character movements, making it look like they're in the movie. So throughout this adventure, you have two forms of attack, a sword and apples. I know the latter sounds kind of weak, but you'd be surprised how often they come in handy. Now, let's talk about Easter eggs, because this game
Goofy on the
had
call.
many Easter eggs before Easter eggs were cool. Oh, what am I
Represent
saying?
Easter
They've
eggs.
always been cool. Okay, so in the dungeon,
Sebastian
you can
on the
see
wall.
Sebastian
I remember
from
seeing that
Little
as a
Mermaid
kid and
chained to
going
the
like,
wall.
that's messed up. Why is
That-
Sebastian chained to
that's
the wall?
depressing. And in that same level, you can see a familiar scene from a famous Disneyland ride.
I remember early on, I didn't
Holding
get this
the key
reference,
from
this Pirates of the Caribbean reference,
and a hand trying to get the key
because
from him.
I hadn't
Oh, and let's
been
not
to
forget those
Disneyland
famous
yet to
Mickey
ride the
Mouse
ride.
ears that
But
when you lean into them, you get an extra life. That is so awesome. And the Sega Genesis in the background of the lamp level. Maybe that's what the genie was doing for 10,000 years. Yeah, phenomenal cosmic
I remember
power.
originally, I was going to have an Aladdin cartridge come down and land in that slot right there of the Genesis, but I think I forgot about it. I think I was going to do it, but I just forgot to do it. if I remember correctly. Ah, that's too bad.
An itty bitty living space. That's the Sega Genesis. Am I right? Okay, I'm going to share a cute little story from my childhood. Remember those PlayStations that Target used to have? No, not PlayStations, but PlayStations. So, young me
My head on Bobby from Bobby's World.
Kid in town and make everyone think that I beat Aladdin in under 5
This is a
minutes.
true story. I did go to Target
There's
to do
code
this.
that you can enter to skip stages. Just press pause on the game and then press AA, BB, AA, BB, A, and then you will automatically be skipped to the next stage. Well, I kept doing this over and over and over again until I finally got to the game over screen. And then I put the controller down and walked away, like a boss. And everyone thought I beat the game in under 5 minutes.
I remember that.
Cool.
Yeah, I was at Target,
You know what?
and I would be
was.
playing it, and I'd
So
put the code in,
definitely
and it'd
give
be on
Aladdin
the
a play
end
whenever you have
screen,
the
and I was like,
opportunity.
hey everybody,
It
I
might
just
be
beat
the greatest
Aladdin in like
movie to
2
video game
seconds.
of all time.
Oh man. That was pretty cool looking at that. Wow, it's like... Talk about a blast from the past. Wow. And now, wow, those are the first 2 episodes. And now I'm up to, what am I up to now? Like 120 or something? It's like, wow, that is just amazing on how far I've come and all that. Thank you for joining me, guys. And, if you'd like me to do more of these reactions to some of the old videos, just let me know in the comments below. I'm KyleUniverse, and I'll see you out there.